What's going on, guys? Welcome to our podcast, Walking Manifestator. I am your host, Alexa Peña, and in this podcast, I am on one mission and one mission only, and that is going to help you awaken your truest and highest self. Embrace and embody your true power and help you elevate to a completely new consciousness. A transformational journey with the Walking Manifestator you are born to be.
Today, we want to really dive into what is fear. Not the type of fear that protects us from danger, but the kind of fear that actually keeps us from becoming the person that we are meant to be. I was having a very powerful conversation this week with one of my new trainers, and it really inspired me to talk about this deeper because the truth is, we all face this. Let's be honest. We all have fears. And for these high achievers of us, sometimes we tell ourselves that it's not fear, but we like to mask it with the phrase, I'm just stressed. I'm just overwhelmed. But Tony Robbins talks about this amongst many of the great minds of our society, and they share how every single one of us has an underlying fear. And fear, if we really dissect it, it's actually false evidence appearing real. A lot of the things that we are afraid of is simply because we've never experienced them before. We tell ourselves that we should never do that thing because there's no proof that we can do the thing from our own life, from our own journey, from our own path. But think about it. All the things that exist in this reality that we have came from a dream. And we need to understand that, yes, fear is actually just the mind trying to keep you safe. Just the mind trying to keep you in the familiar present, the familiar known, the predictable. But growth really does require stepping into the unknown. Now, here's the first thing I want to cover. Fear really is just your mind trying to protect you. Our brain is wired for survival, not expansion. It really is always asking, am I safe? Is this familiar? Have we done this before? Have we failed at this before? Have we succeeded at this before? And when the answer is a no, our brain is designed to protect us. And this is actually wired in our biology from our hunting and gathering days. Because the truth is that when we would see a dark cave, our brain biologically was wired to say, don't go in there because we could die. Don't go into the unknown. Now, when we're children, we're afraid to fall. We're afraid to do certain things. We get frustrated. And sometimes it takes a while, right? I know that one of my little ones right now, he gets frustrated because he still hasn't mastered reading. And he's like, I'm getting frustrated. And I'm like, that's crazy. He's barely about to be 5 years old. He's 4 right now. And I know that he's really practicing. And if I compare him to his brother, it could be easy for me to, obviously feed into that fear and say, well, yeah, in my head, right? His brother actually learned to read a lot sooner than him. But the truth is that he's going to learn to read. And he's showing up and he's doing the thing. And eventually he's going to master it. And within a couple of weeks, he's already been doing such a huge improvement. Why is this relevant? Well, because we all have things that we've done in life that we have been completely, completely out of line with. We didn't actually master the thing the first time. You didn't master the first time that you talked to somebody. You didn't master the first time that you did a test. Maybe you didn't master the first time that you tried a new sport, whatever it is for you. And if we had listened to fear, well, the truth is that you wouldn't have discovered how worthy or how amazing you are at the thing that now you might call one of your passions or your job or whatever it might be for you. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear can sometimes just mean there's something new behind that wall. And understanding that our dreams are not random. Our dreams are there for a reason. The desires inside of you are not accidents. the dream you carry to build something big, to help others, to grow and to really create an impact, that's actually very exciting because there is a version of you that is already achieving that. And I love to talk about the quantum physics, the quantum world, the quantum entanglement. And when you really get into that, just dissect it for a second. Dr. Joe talks about how in the quantum field, everything already exists because everything is actually energy. So everything is vibrating at a frequency. And in the quantum field, there's like infinite possibilities that have already happened. What if the thing that you are calling in is actually not you calling it in, but it's actually calling you? And when you understand that, that's actually very powerful because that means that your dream has already manifested in another timeline. Now, there's two voices inside of us all the time. The voice that is always focusing on the fact that there is that potential that it could actually be exactly what you want. And of course, the voice that tells you, yeah, that's not going to happen. Who are you kidding? Right? And when you understand that, then you can understand that there's a voice that's going to tell you, people like you don't do things like that. You're not ready. You're not capable. There's somebody else that's better. When you try that, you're going to fail. How ridiculous are you going to look? There's somebody else that's better than you at that. There's already somebody else that's doing it. When you understand that, those voices are limiting beliefs that you're feeding into, but they're not the truth. Beliefs create your reality. And I need you to write that down. And when you understand that, your beliefs are creating your reality, your beliefs are also determining what you're noticing. It's like your RAS, your reticular activating system. When you focus on everything that's going bad, you attract more of those evidences in your life. If you look at how the world is in shambles, try your algorithm for a second. Go and just look at all the negative stuff. Watch how your algorithm starts focusing on feeding you more of that because they know you're somebody that's susceptible to that. And then try the opposite. Go and just feed your algorithm good things and notice how the rest of your videos, if you ignore all the bad ones, they actually go away because you're not feeding into it. And now your algorithm is actually giving you nothing but positive videos. Now, this is really important because when we focus on lack, we're going to create more lack. When we focus on opportunities, we're going to attract more opportunities. How are you interpreting these events that are happening? All of these things are components of your beliefs. If someone believes that success is impossible, they're going to find evidence that's going to support that success is impossible. Now, on the same token, if somebody believes that growth is possible, they are going to begin taking different actions to see success in everything they do. And this is important for a few reasons, of course, because if you understand this, you're not going to allow anybody else's limiting beliefs to hold you hostage simply because they weren't able to do the thing. You see, this week when I met with my new trainer, I started working with her. It's been 2 weeks now. And from a conversation, I noticed that this girl is somebody that I would love to explore a collaboration with. She is super fit. Her whole journey of healing and growth and self discovery is beautiful. And even as of right now, her being a badass that she already is, she's still open to the fact that she's still growing, which I love because anybody that tells you they already figured out life and they have nothing else to learn, at least in my book, that's kind of a red flag because you're saying that you already know everything and there's nothing else that you can learn. And I just don't fall for that. I think that there's always new things, even at this point. The message that I'm resonating with right now, that I'm sharing with you right now, is the things that are resonating in the chapter that I'm in. But maybe a year from now, I'm going to look back at what these meanings mean for me, and they might be different. And that's the beautiful part of growth, right? And we were talking about this and we were open to the fact that both of us are in this journey of growing. And we started talking about this collaboration that we want to do. And in my hometown, this is a big deal because there's a lot of growth happening in a lot of other cities, but in our hometown, it's a little slower when it comes to the growth. Now, I'm not saying there isn't some amazing individuals with amazing talent, but I am saying that there's a lot of other cities that I've been to that they're just doing like events all the time. And in my hometown, we don't have that. And I was like telling her, I was like, you know what? Like, why not us? Like, let's create something where we both go and actually give as much value as possible for like 3 hours. We do a event, we give them pillars, we talk to them about all these amazing things, and then we get into the physical training things, right? That they can grow from and learn. That was us taking a moment to believe in something that right now might feel impossible. The moment you change what you believe about yourself, that is when you're changing what you're willing to accept. And this is really where I want you to understand taking inspired action changes everything. Manifestation is not a passive thing you do. You can believe something is possible, but if you never move, nothing is going to change. Inspired action means taking steps before anything feels certain, before you even know if you can trust the process. Continuing even when the steps ahead of you are unclear. Sometimes progress is going to feel slow, it's going to feel overwhelming, but hope and faith and strength and consistency all go together. Growth happens through showing up in spite of the evidence that you're seeing in front of you. And this is really where faith comes into play because faith isn't believing everything is going to happen instantly. Faith isn't believing that everything is going to just appear magically. Faith is believing that there's something above what you can even understand in this moment that is actually going to happen and is going to happen exactly the way that it's supposed to be, in the divine timing that it's designed to be. Faith moves mountains. And this is really what I want you to walk away with. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Why not ask, what is this teaching me? Why not ask, what can I learn from the situation? Where can you see that there's space for you to understand that with clarity comes massive movement? This is where fear becomes growth. And eventually, we become the person that's capable of handling what we have been praying for. So if you're feeling afraid right now, that doesn't mean you're on the wrong direction, on the wrong path. It might actually mean that you're stepping into the life that you've been designed to create. Fear is temporary. Growth requires courage. Dream exists for a reason. And I want you to really lock into this because this is really where your entire trajectory changes. When you decide that you deserve more. When you decide that fear is not going to stop you. When you decide you are worthy for the life that you were designed for. So with that, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for being part of the community. And if you haven't heard this before, remember, you're absolutely loved. And I can't wait to talk to you on the next one.
Thank you so much for watching yet another episode of Walking Manifestator. And with that being said, I want to remind you, visualize, embody, and transcend. Be the walking manifestator you are born to be.